Hey everybody, welcome back. I am thrilled to have Ari back with me. Hi Ari.
Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
That's
I
really
complain.
good to hear. A lot of people have been asking me questions about like what's going on since we first spoke,
Mhm.
and what's happening. So let me ask you, how's it been? Like, how's your life been since we first spoke? And what's kind of been going on in your life since then?
I've been getting a lot of support, overwhelming support from women and men who have inboxed me, thanking me, encouraging me, that kind of thing. So that has been great. It was a little overwhelming with the ladies, the other wives, talking to them and still just hearing their stories. Um, I think that just the weight of it, all of it started to come back. All of my experiences and traumas started to come back to me, and memories and that kind of thing. Because when you're digging around for this stuff, you have to start remembering things to recall your experience,
Right.
and so that kind of took a toll, just a little bit. I had to back up a bit from social media, so I kind of just went MIA. And I actually posted today. I posted for Mother's Day, and then I posted today. So typically I was posting more than that, but I just kind of stayed away a bit. But I'm in a great space. I have been able to talk more with the other women, and we've been bonding and that kind of thing. And like I said, the support has really been great for me because I was very apprehensive and scared to kind of come out for many
I mean,
reasons.
it was a story. I mean, like, what you went through isn't easy to speak about, and as we've stated, like, these aren't people that you really generally want to mess with
Mhm.
and be truthful about. So you were very brave and courageous,
Yeah,
when you did that.
yeah. It feels good though. A weight has been lifted. The world
All that
knows.
matters.
So
That's
I'm
all.
praying that no other women will be victimized, and that was really the purpose of it, is to protect and to prevent however I
Have you
can.
gotten any type of like negative? Like, have you heard from like the Snowdens at all? Like, or no?
I mean, they have nothing to say to me. I got proof. He knows this though, so he won't be saying anything to me.
That's good. I'm happy. I'm happy that it's been like generally like a good transition since you went public and forward with this. Because a lot of people were worried. What if they come after you? And I think you were worried too.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
even worried.
yeah. I mean, it's always still a possibility because he's out. It's not like he's locked up, so he's out there, and I know that he's livid. I'm sure, and I don't know what the man's planning, honestly. But at the end of the day, um, the truth is out there. So no matter what happens to me, he's been exposed. So yeah.
And I have, I've spoken, both Chrissy and Vanessa messaged me and they thanked me. And I was like, oh, you don't have to thank me. Thank Ari, and that was really sweet. It just seemed, people, some people are like, oh, you don't believe her. The Snowdens are classy people. I don't believe this. But like when it's pretty much every sister wife is saying the same thing, when do you not believe that?
Right, right. At what point do you say, okay, they're the common denominator? Like all of these women can't be lying.
Right.
All of these
It's
women.
like, well, I hate to use like an analogy like this, like, with the Bill Cosby stuff, like when all those women came forward,
Mhm.
they were like, is every one of those women lying?
Right, right. I mean,
Or
if it's 20 women, even if five are lying, the rest are telling the truth.
right.
Like,
Like, like how, like,
if you have just one is enough. It's unfortunate that we live in a society where you have to have multiple women to come forward to say, "Oh yeah, he did it," in order for people to believe you. It's so sad because
and
this is the
for you to
culture.
be like, like the whistleblower and, you put yourself out there, like,
Yeah.
you know, and that in this society when like people just automatically don't believe you and they want, that's hard to do. And I give you all the credit in the world because we know how you're an actress. You know how people on social media could be. They're not always endearing,
Yeah. And I always,
and it takes a lot for somebody to speak the words that you spoke. And I'm proud to know you. I really am.
think
In the last couple of weeks, since we talked last, we knew about Chrissy's restraining order against Dimitri, and that kind of fell apart. But since we last spoke, Dimitri had filed
for divorce. Yeah.
divorce against Chrissy.
Hmm.
What do you think about that?
Counter move. He's
Right.
trying to protect himself and look better in the spotlight, since the restraining order was dropped. Now, if he files for divorce, it's like, oh, well, he's getting rid of her and she probably lied and, that kind of thing. I mean, it doesn't mean anything, doesn't prove his innocence. And him filing for divorce, stating that she abandoned the marriage, no, she's running for her life. People have to read between the lines. You have to ask questions, do more research, before you jump to conclusions or make a judgment. But yeah, that was him counter moving. I know this guy. He plays chess. He doesn't play it as well, but he plays chess. And so this is a move for him, for sure.
Right. After it was funny to see that the restraining order the case came out, and he won that, I guess. And then the second it's over, he makes his counter move and files divorce first against Chrissy.
Absolutely.
And we were all shocked. I was shocked when I heard that they were legally married. I had no idea.
For a year.
For how long?
A whole year. I mean, the show airs a year later, so they had been in the house with them that whole time.
Do you know the reason why he got married to Chrissy? Was it to expedite her coming here from a different country? That's what I was speculating, that it'd be easier if he legally married Chrissy to get her over here with her kids. And that was my thinking.
That's the best way to do it. I would say yes. That's part of the reason why that was the primary reason why he married her. I don't think he would have legally married her had he not had to marry her. But yeah, it definitely. I think if I know correctly or remember correctly, once you get your intended spouse to America, you have 90 days to marry them. And then you have to be married at least, I think, a total of 3 years for them to get their green card.
Oh, so they did a K-1 visa, like 90-day fiance.
Well, I don't know. I'm speculating because she didn't.
No, yeah, right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't confirm for sure. I'm just thinking that was the case. But yeah, in order for her to stay, there had to be some type of marriage happening, unless it was a work visa. And then if it was a work visa, then I mean, she wasn't working. She was in the house.
And just to be clear, he never married Ashley. That they were always spiritually married. They were never legally married. Was I think Chrissy was the first one he legally married since his first ex, like years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He hadn't been legally married since.
No, since the other lady whose name we can't pronounce.
Right. Yeah. It's yeah. I don't want to butcher that name, but yeah. Do you when you were there? Did he ever speak to marrying you, or did real marriage to Ashley, or was that ever a topic of conversation?
His thing was he didn't want to. First of all, he never spoke of real marriage, like legal marriage to me, but he spoke of having a ceremony. We didn't have a ceremony. Neither did him and Ashley. So that ceremony that you guys saw with him and Vanessa and Ashley, that was her first ceremony.
So that was them both kind of getting married to him at the same time.
Yes. So he spoke of that. He would always say, no, we didn't do a ceremony because we were waiting for our wife to come home. So there's a situation where they were waiting for the wife. They had many before me, but they were waiting for the wife to have the ceremony. Of course, we never had a ceremony. So yeah, I think the ceremony that they did on the show was definitely for the show. For entertainment, because I don't believe that they would have done a ceremony. It's unfortunate, but he never gave her the honor of that.
I have a question about. I don't get it. Hold on. So I have a couple of questions from people. Hold on. Let me just find it real quick. Shannon asks, has Dimitri tried to contact you since moving out? Has he tried to contact you since like the whole thing with Jay and everything? Like, when's the last time you heard from him?
Yeah, he was still trying to be intimate and have an intimate relationship after I left the house.
But when's the last time you ever like heard anything from any of them?
Years ago, he had access to my website. He created a website for me, and I wanted to gain control of the site because I didn't want him to have control anymore. And he lied to me. He told me that he no longer had control of the site, but I had an IT guy, go in and check it out, and he found that Dimitri was still the owner of my domain. So I have emails of me and him going back and forth, and him trying to get me to implicate myself in the whole Jay situation. And I'm not feeding, I'm not biting the bait, and I'm simply asking him to relinquish, his ownership back to me. And I told him, some of the clips that you're using, there's copyright infringement from HBO, because it was an acting website. So he featured some of the things that I did, some of my projects. And he gave me this, it was a battle of words going back and forth, but he finally relinquished the site back to me at the domain. And so that was the last I had ever heard of him. And he told me not to never contact him again, which I thought was hilarious. The only reason why I contacted him is because I needed my site back. But after that, I had never heard from him again. And that, I don't know, when was that? Like 2016, maybe? No, I'm sorry. 2000, I think it was like 2018, I want to say.
Well, that was right before the show started airing. Like right before. Another person asked, were you acting? And I think I already know the answer to this, but were you acting while you were living with them in Atlanta, I guess?
Yeah. I was auditioning. I actually booked Queen Sugar on Oprah's network on OWN. I booked that right before I left the house. So when I had to film it, I had to leave town. I took my daughters with me. And then we came back. But this was like maybe 2 months, no, three months before I left the house. He did let me leave to go film. So I filmed and came back.
Well, did he let you leave because, like, I remember we were speaking about, like, him wanting to be associating with actresses because he wanted to be famous. So, I mean, I think he'd had to let you leave, right? If he wanted to keep that, like,
Absolutely. I mean, he was excited. He was more excited than me when I booked it, because he.
Oh, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got you. I got it.
Okay, I was getting a call. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't work much. Let me just say that was the first project I had booked since I was there, and he wanted me to be successful because he wanted the money. It was the money. When he saw that I booked something with the OWN network, he was just super excited about it, and he wanted to be my manager. That was a big thing for him too. It was a push to be my manager. He drew up this whole contract and everything. Wanted me to be his manager. So I mean, wanted to be my manager, but yeah, he let me go.
Did he ever try to manage you? Like, was he like calling places like on your behalf, trying to book jobs?
I did not want him to, because first of all, he didn't have any connections in the industry. He knew nobody. So when he mentioned managing me, I'm thinking, well, how? You have no connections with any of the casting agents in any of the regions, whether Southeast region, LA, none. So I was not sure how he would even help or assist my career in any way. So I just told him, don't worry about it. I already had agents, so I was fine with the agents that I had. But yeah, that was the only project that I did. He let me go, let me leave. Ashley almost died because she didn't want to be left with the kids. So I ended up taking my children.
This is a good question from Michelle. How many women did they consider wives until besides you, Ari? I've had many people ask me and have seen many answers. So how many women did they consider wives? Like, how
It was a
how
lot.
many are there? That's a good question.
A lot. they had a lot of women before I came into the house. A few of them they told me about, and they named some of them, so I remember some of the names that they named. Um, but yeah, they had several. I would say, let me think, um, about 7 women that I know of before me, that I know by
And
name.
like, do you know like how long they would stay there, or like what? No, it
Some
would
women
just.
would stay a couple months. Nobody stayed over a year. Nobody. They were all very, very short-lived.
Dorit asks, are you still in showbiz or into something else? You were awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm still acting. I've been auditioning a lot, and yeah, I'm still doing it. I'm just waiting for waiting for a gig. I actually have an audition to film tonight for a TV series as
I
a
hope you get it.
reoccurring.
And if you need like
Yeah,
a cool, hip, gay guy as your best friend, just like point them my way, and I'll be happy to like audition with you. Just saying.
this
Just
is
gonna throw that. Just gonna
awesome.
throw that into the universe.
That's awesome. This is a sci-fi film that takes place in the 1940s.
Ooh, that's
So
super cool.
yeah, so
I could wear
I'm
like
excited.
a 10-gallon hat or something like that. Like, I could be like old timey, whatever it takes. Was it hard? Okay, so if you were booking jobs like while or trying to work one while you were in Atlanta living with them, like is Atlanta like is it easy? Like it can't be as easy as LA to like find acting gigs. And is it
No,
like
it's a pretty healthy industry there. In fact, Atlanta and New Orleans are kind of like a mini Hollywood because it was so
oh,
many.
I had no idea. I know Atlanta's like, pretty cosmopolitan, but I didn't know they had like a big acting scene. Like when I think, acting places, I think LA and I think New York. Like I didn't, I don't so that's I didn't know that.
Yeah, I booked Venom, the Marvel film. I
And
actually
that was in Atlanta
Mhm.
while you were in, oh wow.
I booked it out of Atlanta, and the studio, Black Hawk Studios, that's located in Atlanta, is where they filmed most of my scenes.
That's pretty cool. See, we all learn something every day. Wait, Grandma Scary had a question. I want to make sure I get it. Is Chrissy back in SA? The NDA should be null. Oh, in South Africa. Is Chrissy back in South Africa? I
I
don't.
I won't say because I don't
Yeah,
want
I
to.
mean, she's like in hiding.
Yeah, yeah.
So whether she's there or somewhere else, like nobody wants to put her in any type of jeopardy.
Yeah.
She's obviously hiding for a reason. You know what I mean? So we really can't say where she may or may not be.
Mhm.
But yeah, I see Taylor stories. Taylor's like in Mexico. Like it's just very odd that
Right.
everybody who's
Fled.
attached to this man are in different countries. Obviously, Chrissy's from South Africa, so it's different. But people are in hiding.
Right.
It's
Yeah. I mean, after dealing with that type of stuff, that trauma there, you just want to go into a shell. I mean, I went into a depression, which is why I sought therapy because there were days I didn't want to leave my room, my bed. So I can completely understand why they felt the need to get away if they had the opportunity to get away. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot to have endured and then have to recover from and try to make sense of, you know.
let me see. There's another question. Well, no, it's both questions are about Dimitri, which we kind of already covered. Let me check out the Facebook group Seeking Sister Wives because I think there's some questions there. Hold on a second. People are asking if like the other people will ever come forward, like Vanessa or Taylor. I pretty much think that with Taylor and Chrissy, it's hard because like this show is still airing, so they probably have like their TLCs,
Yeah, they can't
NDAs.
right now.
So I wouldn't expect either Chrissy or Taylor to be able to say anything soon because it's TLC's NDA. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But with Vanessa, you had told us that like because of you, the Snowdens make all future possible sister wives sign like ironclad like NDAs. So I hope that they'll be able to speak, especially Vanessa. I think and a lot of people have been asking me like what's Vanessa's take on this. And I mean, that's her story to tell.
Mhm.
And hopefully one day she'll be able to tell it.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so.
Um, Kathy writes, Ari, you are so brave. You are an amazing soul for speaking out on all the ladies.
Thank you so
Grandma
much,
Scare,
Kat.
my point is, if any of the girls are Safki, what does that mean? If any of the girls Safki out in USA, they should be protected by their government and sue TLC to the ground.
Oh, they should definitely sue. TLC, yeah. So negligent and putting these women intentionally putting these women in harm's way. They knew
I
what was
mean,
happening.
and you warned them, and we posted the emails on the last live, where you were trying to, and they were like, oh, whatever, they're great people. Pretty much,
Mhm.
like what,
Well, we haven't found anything. We've vetted or we've checked his background. Like, okay, which social did you use? Because
and to the people who are new to this, like this is part 4. We've gone live now 3 times prior to this. So if you haven't watched the last 3 parts, you're probably going to be lost. But we've discussed how Dimitri had like another social,
Mhm.
and that was his way of allegedly getting around background checks and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Somebody else asked, how did you get in contact with the other, like Chrissy and Vanessa? Like, did you reach out to them, or did they know who you were and they reached out to you? Like, how did that happen?
One reached out to me, and then I reached out to the other two.
Okay.
Kind of like it was almost like we were waiting for each other, if that makes sense. So when that news broke, they all knew of me, all of them, because the Snowdens would talk so much about me. Most of it bad, but they all knew me and they all had the same stories, like, or similar things that they would hear. And so when the news broke, I don't know why, but one reached out and I was thinking the same. Like I wanted to reach out to Chrissy for sure and just check in on her. And then I thought, man, I should reach out to the other ladies because I want to know if they've experienced what I experienced. And sure enough, once we all talked, we all had the same stories.
And that's like going back to like think when everybody has the same story, like in multiple people, the same exact story that people from different walks of life from
Yes.
around the globe,
and nothing has changed. So
Nothing.
it's like
um,
that's truth.
not for grabs, right? Does Chrissy have any resources or people that can advocate for her?
Chrissy needs assistance. She does. I am coordinating, trying to start a GoFundMe for her, but that's been difficult because she's not a citizen. So we have to figure out some other way to get resources, but she definitely needs help.
All right, well, let's get this done now. Like that will be like the next thing. All right, so if Chrissy needs help, I think we all need to help her.
She definitely does.
She can't do a GoFundMe. Why? Because she's not an American citizen. It's only for Americans.
You need a bank account, and I think like with PayPal, you need a social security number. So she doesn't have any of those things. I'm sorry, it's my daughter.
No, it's fine.
Close the door. Close the door. No. Close the door. Close the door. Thank you. No. Then the cat came in too.
My cat just keeps jumping on top of me. All right, so this is important though.
It is, yes.
So Christy needs help, and we need to figure out a way to help her.
Yeah, because we got this. Come on. Put our heads together. We got this. Come on.
So let's try and figure that out. I think I don't know. Can I start, or can we start a GoFundMe for her? Or like, does she have like?
I'm working on it. I'll get it started. We still have to figure out how she's going to get the money. That's the only thing. And I definitely don't want it to be started and the money not go directly to her. So I was actually waiting for her to figure out if she could get a bank account. So we're kind of like trying to figure that out right now. But we're going to start one. We're definitely going to start one. And what I'll do is once we get it started, I'll let you know. And then maybe, you can let everybody, all the viewers know if they want to.
Oh yeah, no, we will share. I will make sure I share that on every portal of technology, for sure. Because Chrissy's a sweet girl, and that just hearing you say like that she needs help and it makes me feel really bad. Do you know, and I don't know if you could answer this, but do you know if like either Chrissy or Taylor got paid for being on the show at all?
No, none of them.
So $0.00 for Chrissy or Taylor.
Nope. I've seen the comments. Oh, they did it for the money. There was no money. They did not pay these women. The Snowdens got paid. And the Snowdens did not pay
Did
them.
TLC pay the Snowdens thinking he was going to like, disperse the money to them? Or did he say like he was...
And so that was stupid on their part.
I mean, I don't know. That could have been the case, but yeah, they never received anything.
Do you know about Vanessa too? Did Vanessa receive anything?
No, she never received anything.
Wow.
I mean, I thought they got paid. And then when I
You
found
would
out
think like when someone's on the TV, like, Chrissy and Taylor are a little bit different because like they weren't on, every episode. But with Vanessa, she was pretty much on that whole season.
yeah.
So that's a sin. Hold on. Grandma Scary. I think JJ is correct. No NDA is going to protect a person or corporation when they break the law. And people are asking me like, how long, is this NDA last? And in my head, I have a feeling that it's like in perpetuity, just forever, like with no end date. That's how people get you. You can't say anything like forever, just like So, have you ever seen like one of the Snowden's NDAs? Like,
No. I have like I've signed NDAs for films that I've done, but they're not like they don't have a forever type situation. It's only while you're working on the project. So it could be like a year NDA or something like that. They never really specify the length of the time. I've not heard of a forever NDA. I've heard of ones lasting like at least 10 years because in the statute of limitation for certain crimes, it's over, So they want to make sure with NDAs, if you're doing illegal or offensive or whatever things or activity, if you make a person sign an NDA, as long as it's like 10 years, that's, past the statute of limitation for many crimes in many states. So,
but even if you do break the NDA, it's like a criminal charge, right? It's
right for criminal charges.
It's a civil. Is it a criminal charge if you break it?
No,
it's a civil charge.
Yes, it's a civil. But the thing is, if there is any criminal activity, then the NDA is null and void. I had an attorney explain that to all of us. So if we witnessed any type of illegal activity, then they can speak about it and not be prosecuted for the NDA, what is it? Violation. Right.
I mean, it's just wild. I don't know what else to say. Like, I want to make sure like that, like, people are caught up and they, they're like, oh, we need to see Ari again. And like, I have so many questions and we just want to make sure she's doing good. I think a lot of people were worried, and I was one of them, that like, you would have gotten a lot of backlash, especially from them, once you aired this. But I'm happy to see that everything is like going well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got a lot more positive than negative.
Good.
But I mean, that's the way the universe moves. When you move with pure intention, you're protected. So I feel as though this decision to come forward and this decision to come out and speak for these women was pure intention. It was not for money or anything like that. Notoriety, none of it. I just wanted to help. So I feel as though I'm divinely protected, and I'm grateful for that.
No, you did, and you helped, and like the word's out there now. So I mean, the wheels are in motion. I'm just trying to read these comments real quick. But if you got injured while on a job, you can sue, and NDA doesn't apply. And there's enough women for a class action civil suit. If TLC has to pay, so will the Snowdens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She's right. She's absolutely right. I won't, I don't want to speak on too much because I know a
Right.
lot of
You don't want to show your hand, you know.
right, exactly. But she's absolutely correct.
Ari, you're so brave, and what you did for the women, both previous victims and potential victims, is so important, which is absolutely true.
Thank you.
The comments are rolling in so fast, I can't even keep up. Just trying to read some things. He writes, there's a motorcycle gang going past our house right now. I'm glad she didn't receive backlash. I'm so waiting for the to take down the Stone and the TLC.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it too. I
Oh,
can't.
here's a good question from Kelly. Has TLC reached out to you?
They have not, and they probably won't.
Have you reached out to them at all since this?
Mm-hmm.
I would have sent them an email. I told you so. That's it.
I'm sure they've seen these interviews and they've read the article, so they know I'm talking. And I've talked about me reaching out to them, so they know. They know. Their legal team has not reached out to me, so.
Maria asked, "Are you suing TLC?"
No, not.
I don't know if that would be.
Yeah, I don't really have a case.
You weren't on the show, and
right. I wasn't on.
Yeah,
the show.
I don't.
I
Yeah,
have no affiliation or legal affiliation with them whatsoever, but I am willing to support the women 100%.
right. They need lawyers. Yes, they need lawyers. If they don't have any now, they will be very wealthy ladies.
Those ladies, they deserve it. If they're, things work out, because I know litigation can take years. So yeah, they deserve it. They deserve every dime they can get from those people.
Ari and John, please keep the heat on this by continuing to report updates. It's funny how they're keeping quiet, but they did the same with Josh Duggar. I mean,
yeah, they kind of try to bury that story too. I read about it.
So yeah, I think that would be it. I don't want to drag this out. Is there anything you want to say that hasn't been said? That we might have missed in the last couple of lives? That anything? Because it's a lot to process and a lot to regurgitate from your brain. You know what I mean? So I mean, is there anything that you want to put out there that hasn't been said already?
Honestly, I've said a lot, but there's still some things that I haven't said for many reasons. I just wanted the world to know. I wanted to also encourage women who are or have found themselves in a similar situation, whether it's monogamous, plural marriage, whatever it is. There are signs of abuse, and abuse isn't always physical.
Right. Oh yeah. Mental abuse can be
absolutely
a million times worse than physical abuse,
because it's so insidious. You can't see it. You can't.
Physical abuse, you get hit, and then the pain goes. But mental, that sticks with you for. I would even say that mental abuse is worse.
It is
than physical abuse.
With the Snowdens, he gets in your head. They both get into your head. They both I was so disarmed by Ashley. One thing I don't think I mentioned is how, and maybe I did, how he used her to pull women in, or to pull me particularly. I was so just kind of disarmed by her charm and by her what seemed to be authenticity. She seemed very authentic and very genuine, but it was it wasn't real, and that's kind of the thing that I still struggle with, because even looking back at the text messages when she and I first started connecting and reconnecting, it was just amazing how we went from that to where we are. And I'm still scratching my head thinking what kind of human being, what kind of mental trauma have you experienced for you to become a person that would do something like that? Or it's weird, but When it comes to abuse, abuse takes many forms, and you have mental, you have emotional, you have physical, psychological. So all of those things were experienced in that house. And even for the women who weren't physically abused, there was a lot of psychological abuse and a lot of betrayal. I trusted them when I went into that house. I trusted my life and my children's life with those people. And with myself, I trusted that I was making a good decision. So, yeah, going in, I was made to feel as though something was wrong with me. And that's the way they get into your head. And all the wives have said the same thing. They were made to feel as though they were doing something wrong. They were in the wrong. So it was a lot of the manipulation and psychological abuse that took place that kind of leave you feeling as though, okay, if I'm the one who's wrong, what can I do to make it right? And so you find yourself staying longer than you should.
Right.
Because you're feeling as though, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I didn't work hard enough. I didn't try hard enough.
And that's how mental abuse gets,
yeah.
second guessing yourself. And yeah,
I've seen comments, a few comments where women have said, you're an adult. Why would you bring your children into that situation? But these are people who don't understand psychological abuse. Like you're trusting. Nobody goes into a relationship thinking or expecting to be abused or expecting to put their children in harm's way, dealing with people who have a certain lifestyle or certain intention. Nobody does. You go in and you expect these people to be who they are, this person to be who they say they are. And so when you're inside of it, especially when they isolate you and they put you in a situation where you don't have family, like Chrissy, she's in a different country, a completely different country, and she doesn't know the culture, she doesn't know the social norms, none of these things. And she doesn't have family, she doesn't have any connections, no money, no resources. This is how they want you. They want you isolated so that they can do whatever they want to do. And when you're in that situation at this point, you're in survival mode. You want to survive. You want to stay alive. And so whatever you got to do, if it's, oh yeah, you want to rub your feet? Okay, I'll rub your feet. You want me to do this? Sure, I'll do that. Just as long as I can survive until I can figure out how to get out of it, I would assume, for her. But yeah, it's the isolation. It's the manipulation. There are so many reasons why women don't leave right away and why they.
Here's a good point. Like kind of going to what you were just saying. I'm sorry, I haven't checked the comments. But when it was last week's episode when Taylor had left, and it was spoken about Ashley was saying how her and Taylor weren't getting along, and Chrissy was saying how Ashley and Taylor weren't getting along. Everybody knew that Ashley and Taylor weren't getting along. And Taylor wound up leaving. Mm-hmm. And, Chrissy had said that she kind of said, there's less tension in the house now that Taylor's gone. And it was always, but people are saying, oh, why would Chrissy say mean things about Taylor?
She was stuck in that house.
But my argument was that she was still stuck in that house, and she was going to try and
absolutely
placate the Snowdens as best as she could. That why they
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to say anything bad about these two people that are abusing you. You're going to be as nice as possible, and whatever you need to do to survive, you'll do it. But as Taylor said, without being able to say much, it's all a lie. It's TV. It's, these women were forced to say things, do things, sign this, sign that. It's not the truth. None of what you see. It's all smoke and mirrors. And she did what she had to do to survive in that house.
Yeah, I mean, I would be if it were me, I'm so happy Taylor's gone. I love this Snowden so much. I just want peace and, just to get them off my back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say anything just so I'm still in that house. Taylor's gone. She's free.
Exactly.
She escaped. So now it's me, Chrissy, and my two kids. And of course, I'm going to say whatever I need to say to make them happy. Mm-hmm. And Taylor was getting so much backlash for it because oh, look at Chrissy talking about Taylor and this. But I'm no. If you could just look into it. I felt, and I was speculating, but it is what it is, that Chrissy had to say those things just to keep the Snowdens off her back.
Right. Yeah. Because Chrissy and Taylor were the best of friends in that house. The best of friends. Ashley hated that, and I'm sure she did.
Well, I
And
mean, I don't. I know you don't watch the show, but like they showed like when they were in the Corona, and it was Ashley and Dimitri like sitting off to the side by the table, and then you saw like Taylor and Chrissy together. Like it was very clear like they were like
yeah.
they had broken off.
Yep. They formed an alliance. So they had to. I mean, there's power in numbers, so they had to isolate somebody. And somebody had to go. It was whomever was the strongest, or they felt was that gave them the most resistance, if that makes sense. So you have to get rid of the one who is not going to take your shit. And
Right.
yeah, they sabotaged that. They set it up. They manipulated. They did what they needed to do to get that woman out of the house, and they
And
did.
Taylor was the one with no children. I mean, Chrissy had the kids, and that's what the Stonans were. I don't want to say after, but like they definitely wanted to because didn't Dimitri want to have Chrissy's children's last name changed to Snowden?
Same with me. Very same. That was a demand, and I was not for that because my children, I was married to their father, and their father was a great father. It wasn't as if they didn't have a father in their lives. They did. He was very active in their lives, and for Dimitri to even ask, I thought that was the strangest thing. And his reasoning behind it was, well, it's part of the Snowden that all of my
Did
children.
he want to adopt your kids legally, or like did he just want a name change?
He just wanted a name change. He didn't ask to adopt.
So he didn't. Oh my God! So he didn't want to adopt your children and take on the father role, but they already had a good father. He just wanted them to have his last name. Oh,
Yes.
that is slimy. That is.
And
it was
really fight the fathers, which is crazy to me because these men never did you anything. Why would you want to take away a man's ability or right, that he earned over his children, or to be a father to his children? Dimitri was very weird in that regard, very, very weird. And for him to enforce or ask that is just, yeah, it wasn't.
How far into like you being there did he pose that on you? Oh, by the way, I'm going to need you to have your kids change their last names to mine.
This was when we moved into the bigger house, maybe like 3 months in.
People want to help you ASAP. Brenda Bell just writes.
Okay.
I think I missed a couple of. I'm sorry. The chat's going so fast. I think I missed a few, but a couple of months in, he already wanted you to change. Here,
Yeah.
Brenda B Payne. What do you think about him claiming to be an MMA fighter with 16 wins, race car driver, and having a pilot's license? What your
He's
thoughts?
A lie. That man has never fought in MMA.
No, and we looked that up. So like years ago, when he was like saying he was an MMA fighter, I have friends who are in
Actually,
the actual friends who are in like who are MMA fighters, and they're like,
and they didn't find any.
They tracked him down every which way they could, and they're like, yeah, no, there's no record of him.
Exist for Dimitri Alvarez Snowden, or whatever his name is. There are no stats for this man. This man has never been an MMA fighter. He's never been a pilot. He does not have a pilot license. He's a convicted.
So he never flew you in a plane before? He never took you off for like a
ever.
He never flew you to Paris for like a croissant and brought you back for the day? No, never.
He's never been to Paris himself. So no. All the things that this man said, he even told somebody he was a firefighter. He lied and said he was a producer at TLC. He's not.
Oh.
No. He had people thinking all types of things about him, and they were all lies.
Did he tell you like when you were there, like, well, I'm an MMA fighter? Like, was he like bragging about stuff that he didn't ever achieve?
He never told me about the MMA. He told me he was a race car driver.
So was it NASCAR? Like, what kind of?
I don't know. He never specified NASCAR, but he said that he was a race car driver. And what else did he tell me? I can't remember. I don't think he told me he was an MMA. Did he tell me he was an MMA, or was it UFC or something like that? I don't know. I think it was a UFC or something. I don't remember the MMA though. Yeah, he told me that he was a race car driver. What else did this man say he did? It's something else I cannot remember that he said he did. But all the things that he said he did, I never saw him do. Ever.
Makes sense.
So yeah, he's never raced a car when we were together. I've never seen him
Is
fight.
he an astronaut? Has he walked on the moon?
No, he is not. He is not. Absolutely not.
I could just take astronaut being on his resume. Like,
Well,
I
give it time. Just
I
wait.
flew to Mars, and I'm half Martian now.
Yeah.
Kath writes, what about Amazon gift cards to Chrissy to be converted to groceries, toiletries, Airbnb, whatever she needs? I think that we will all work on the best way to get Chrissy
Yeah.
the help that she needs.
I can have them send it to me or mail it, and I can send it to her, or I can talk to Chrissy. And I know she wants help. She wants help because I had to get an approval from her.
Yeah,
I
we gotta figure something out.
doing a TED talk. I believe he said he builds robots.
Does he build robots?
That's it. He built a robot. He did. He built a robot and then donated it to the Georgia Tech, I think.
Oh, very cool.
And that's it. That's all I ever seen. So he was really good at building Legos.
Very cool.
I can't really take away from the fact that he was very
Don't ruin Legos for me because I love Legos. So don't ruin that for me.
sorry.
But he built Legos.
Yeah, I mean, I bought him a $300 Lego car that Ashley was pissed because I forgot to say that she helped me buy it when she didn't.
Oh, like she was like, hey girl, put my name on the car too, like type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, he had sent the car knowing that she didn't have money. He knew she didn't have money, but he sent her the car anyway, saying that he wanted the car. They knew I had money. So you send me the car, you say, oh, I want this car so bad. And then you send her the car. And then she texts me and she says, oh, well, our boo wants this car. What are we going to do? Now, you don't have money. So you're not asking me.
What are you going to do, rather?
What am I going to do? So I had already, before she texted me, I had already looked up the car, being a good wife, and put it in my Amazon cart. And then when she texted me, I told her, I said, girl, I already found the car. I put it in my cart. I'm coming upstairs to grab my card so I can purchase. She said, well, why don't you order it on our Amazon? And I'm thinking, why would I do that when he can see
They still have to charge a card when you put it on Amazon.
Like he'll see the order. Even if it's on my card, he'll still see somebody ordered something on Amazon. So anyway, I go upstairs.
Do you have access to like all your bank accounts and stuff like that? Like, can he access everything?
He didn't have access to my personal account. I told him that it was for the children. So, but he didn't have access to that. But we did have a joint account. Me, him,
Just you and Dimitri, or you, Dimitri, and Ashley.
Yes, me, Dimitri, and Ashley had a joint account. I never really took anything from it. The only thing that was coming from that account was my credit card. My card. It was an automatic payment coming from that account.
So the money you were making from like, whatever acting gigs you were booking or whatever went into that account?
No.
Or like, no.
I mean, I wasn't booking anything there. And when I booked that project, it was me leaving. I was basically about to leave the house anyway. This was before like shit hit the fan. So I was still, the money, I didn't have any money coming in because I wasn't working. And he insisted that we didn't work, but I had savings.
Right.
So,
I remember you saying that how he drained you of everything, and that's why you couldn't leave towards the end.
I didn't have any more money when I left. After buying the children clothes, coming in, paying for all of our family dinners and whatnot, buying groceries or whatever is needed around the house. Yeah, I was drained.
All right. Let's see. Alicia, did Dimitri really send Ashley on these extravagant trips by herself, or did she really go? No, you were saying how Ashley went to go visit you for the first time by herself.
Mm-hmm, she did.
She scouted you alone. It was Ashley, right?
Yeah. It was. He sent her. He put his dogs on it to come and get me. But he sent her on an extravagant trip. But he does it after he cheats on her. After he does something really, really terrible.
Oh, so it's like here's like your like gold tennis bracelet. Sorry I stepped out on you.
There you go. Because after the thing with me, him, and her, he sends her to Asia, Southeast Asia. What was it? Yeah, I think it was Asia, Thailand, somewhere in Southeast Asia. And of course, where he's getting the money, he's ripping people off. So he's getting the money to do this, but he sends her off, and this is what he does. And I had one of the women that was there before, she told me the same thing. After he cheats on her or something like that, he'll send her somewhere, send her on a trip. So yeah, that
I'd
was
rather the jewelry, but whatever. I mean, like, okay, at least jewelry lasts forever,
right.
right? Like, I'd rather go. Listen, if you're gonna cheat on me, give me like a nice bracelet or a diamond.
Right.
I'd rather that than a trip because, like, at least I could look at that forever.
Right.
Let's see. Not for grabs rights. Did the Snowdens have? Oh, that's a good question. Did the Snowdens have friends? Were people randomly allowed to come over? What about neighbors? Was there ever family outings? Was there cameras in the house?
No, no, not where when I was there, we didn't have cameras because the show wasn't happening. But when I was there, we never had random friends come and
So
say
they
hi.
had like no friends, like Ashley or Dimitri never
Uh,
called like their buddy like
well,
Charlotte or Marianne on the
twice,
phone.
twice. So Dimitri had a guy come over who was supposed to be down in the basement working out with him or something. And Ashley had a woman come over that they were trying to bring in as a wife, but she was supposed to be Ashley's friend. Ashley met her at the park, and we actually, when we would take the kids to the park, because it was always me and Ashley when we would leave the house. It was always us, right? We go to the park and we meet her at the park, like a play date type situation. But as far as like coming to the house, we didn't have many guests at the house. There
And
were no.
like he never like called buddies on the phone, like, oh hey, like let's like a fantasy football, or what it was just very like, it was.
I wouldn't know because he spent so much time in that office. He was in that office for hours. I mean, literally all day. So I'm not really sure if he actually had those homeboy conversations.
And
Don't really,
like the neighbor, like there was like no interaction with the neighbors or whatever, like
I didn't know the damn neighbors. I couldn't even tell you who they were. We never saw, like we weren't outside enough. We'd hang out in the backyard, but we never saw neighbors, never talked to, never had barbecues, never, no family. He didn't talk to his mother or father. He had no relationship with them at all. The only people a person I would hear Ashley talking to is her sister. That was about it.
I don't even know what that. I'm just reading comments. I don't know what. I don't know. So I guess we're good. Like I don't really want to drag this out. I'm just happy to see that things are looking good and looking up, and it's more positive than negative. I think everybody was worried that once we had done this, that they'd be after us like crazy, and
Yeah.
they might be, quietly, who knows. But I'm happy to see that it's been positive. And I think that I know a lot of people are concerned about Chrissy, so
We'll figure something out.
let's work on a way to get her situated,
Mhm.
and make sure she's okay. Because I think that's like that's the most important thing next is to make sure that Chrissy's okay. Because if she needs help, I want to help her. I know that the people in the chat want to help her. I know you want to help her. So let's make sure we help her whichever way we can.
Okay.
So let's work on a way to get that done.
Yeah, we'll definitely do work on our side, 100%.
Can you get a PO box for Amazon cards?
Yeah, that's actually a great idea. We can do that.
Yeah, I mean, like you would have to open it, or one of us would have to open it up, because obviously Chrissy can't.
Yeah. I'll
She
probably.
doesn't want people knowing where she is.
Yeah, so it would have to go through like somebody, like one of us, like whatever, and then.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll present the idea to her just to make sure she's okay with it. And then because I'm in California, here in the same state, or in the state, I can have them create a PO box and then have that sent to the PO box. And then if it's okay for me to send it to where she is, then but I have to make sure it's okay with her because I know that she can't.
Yeah, of course.
Clothes and all this other good stuff. But that's a great idea. That PO box situation is great because
it's just so that nobody knows where.
I have the best people, they're smart and they have great ideas. So
hey, when they're in here like chatting, like they're here to support, and obviously, as you know. So I mean, anything that we can do, which we will be working, and everybody else in the chats too. They will be working on trying to help, Chrissy as much as
I mean, you could even send like,
so.
even like an email address. Like, can't you just like email her like digital, like gift cards? Isn't that a thing?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Isn't that a thing? Can't you email
I just got
somebody
used to like PayPal, like hello.
a gift?
Well, she can't do a PayPal because of the Social Security situation.
Right.
Right.
Your number. I didn't even know that. I have a PayPal. I'm like, did I need to enter my?
Yeah, see?
I could know this. It makes sure you can't create a PayPal in America out of the country. So I get that.
So let's do that.
Yeah, we'll work on our.
And we're gonna work on it. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna have questions about how we can help her. So me and you, and we'll work on how to help her, and let's do that. So I don't want to keep this going. I think you've answered a ton of questions, and
More than please, more than yes.
I thank you for coming on again. Does she have Cash App or like Venmo or whatever? Can she get Cash App? Not being an American citizen?
Still,
yeah, that sucks.
all right. Well, okay.
Well,
at least,
we will figure it out. Okay, we're all smart people. We will figure out a way to help her. All right.
700 people. I think we can figure this out.
Can't do a GoFundMe, Judy, because again, she's not an American citizen. So
we're going to figure it out. We can do a GoFundMe, but she needs to have a bank account or that kind of thing. We'll find out what to do with it. Because even if it's a situation where if once I have the GoFundMe created, I just didn't publish it because I was waiting for her information. I'm not sure yet whether she was able to. I'm doubting that she can.
What is Chrissy's company? People can promote her company. What's Chrissy's company?
Wait, say it again.
Promote her company.
Oh, my company. It's So Divine Organics.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Chrissy's company. I'm like, wait, I'm confused. Okay.
Yeah, it's So Divine Organics. So is spelled SEAUX. That's a homage to my French Creole roots from Louisiana. And divineorganics.com. So divineorganics.com. And what I sell is a hair product. It is organic flaxseed hair gel. It's good for all hair types, curly hair, natural hair. I actually make it by hand, and I've been using this in my hair for almost 9 years now. And I've been using it for so long, and I've been having everybody tell me, all of my family, my friends tell me, you need to bottle this product up and sell it because your hair looks amazing. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do it, and never did it.
Yeah, you have beautiful hair.
Decided at the beginning of the year to start this company, and I'm doing really well.
All right, well, send me the link when we get up to text it to me, and I'll put it in my store, and I'll promote it.
Absolutely.
Everyone's like, promote her company. I'm like, what company does Chrissy have? Like, I'm sorry, I was sorry, that was a my bad on my part.
I was reading a comment too to see if I was like, what company does she have? I didn't know. But yeah, it's so divineorganics.com. And I definitely appreciate the support, ladies. Thank you. And it's good for men too. So it's good for men, beards.
Michelle writes, is it good for my white girl thin hair?
Yes. If you use hair gel at all, if hair gel is, something that you use.
I use hair gel.
Yes. Yeah, you use hair gel too. And it has great hold. There's no flakes, so it doesn't leave a flaky residue. That's the great thing about it. And it's so good for hair growth. It stimulates and promotes hair growth. You have amino acids, omega-3 fatty acids, which are good for hair growth. It's actually good for the skin. I had a woman who tried it out. One of my customers, she reached out to me and she told me that she had gotten really bad sunburn and her skin was kind of leathery. And she looked on the back of the bottle and she thought, oh yeah, they have all of these ingredients because I only use 100% natural ingredients. So I have tea tree oil, aloe vera, flaxseed, of course, vitamin E oil, almond oil, those types of things. And so she looked on the back. She said, hey, maybe I'll try it on my skin. And she actually put it on her skin. And she said her skin was so soft and smooth. And I told her, I said, yes, it's good for your scalp. This is what it does to your scalp. So I would assume that it would do it for your skin as well. And so she was really, really blown away by it. And I was excited about that. So I'm working on a facial or skincare line now. So using some of the similar ingredients because it's all natural. It's so natural that you can actually eat it. You can literally eat it because I don't use artificial artificial.
I want all of it.
Cody wants hair product and a snack, so it's like the best of both
Yes.
worlds.
You definitely can. I mean, flaxseed is good for you if you eat flaxseed. Of course, it's good fats, and this is how I get my fats without eating meat. I go for veggies or plant-based foods with a lot of omega-3s. So this is one of the best ways to get omega-3 without eating salmon, because salmon has, out of all the fish, has the highest source of omega-3,
Right.
which is a fat that's good for your heart too. So
All right, so there's Ari's website right there for everybody.
you
Go there and buy all her products right this second.
thank you.
Save some for me though.
And then buy Cody a snack. Yeah, let's end this for tonight. We're at an hour. I think we needed to say everything we needed to say. And then send me like the information. I'll be happy to post about your company. And then we're also going to work on how to help Chrissy. So this is like an ongoing thing. What's this? John set up a PO box for Chrissy. We'll send it to you, and you can send it. And you can send to Ari to send to Chrissy. That's like a lot of like steps. You know, I'd rather like it kind of go directly to Chris. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we'll figure out a way to do this. You know, me and Ari will figure this out. And we're gonna help her. We're gonna do it. So you know, it's still very new in my head, so I'm trying to figure it out. But we're gonna make sure that
What we can do is once we figure it out, we can come back on the live.
yeah,
If that's
Yeah.
okay. Just let everybody know, you know, this is how you can help and where you can send help to, that kind of thing. But yeah, we're gonna figure this out. We're definitely
yeah. No, I don't want to. People send it to me, and I send it to Ari, and Ari sends it to, you know,
Right.
Chrissy. That's too many steps. We have to figure out a way to get this directly to her.
absolutely.
You know, that because she needs it,
Or like just one
and
step
you don't need like two middlemen. But it's a good thought. But we're gonna get there, and we're gonna figure it out.
Figure something out.
Not for
She
grabs.
needs
Did
help, and
Dimitri
figure it
ever
out.
claim your kids on his taxes? Did he ever do that?
I don't even think he was doing taxes.
Oh, well then never mind.
I mean, if you're a criminal, you're getting your money illegally, then I would not think that you'd be doing taxes or filing them on your tax. But he never asked.
Brenda just ordered your hair product, so
Whoop,
I-
whoop, whoop.
all right, so let's go. All right, so I'm gonna end this. Everybody, thank you so much for the support. Thank you, Ari, for being a
actually going
trailblazer
on
and a
the website
whistleblower
right
and
Yeah.
everything
No,
you do. You're brave
Ari,
and
you're
courageous.
amazing. You
and-
know you're amazing, and just keep rocking it out and being fabulous like you are. And like you're just, you're a 10 out of a 10. Trust
My husband
me.
in the background.
You knock it out of the ball field
Ballpark.
every time.
Ballpark.
Whatever. I don't care. You can't get that ball. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you guys in the chats, the super chats. Thank you guys. And we will be, as soon as we figure out how to help Chrissy, that doesn't involve like 25 steps. We're gonna let you guys know. So in the meantime, order Ari's hair care product line. You're gonna send me links so I could post your stuff. And then we're gonna get together and figure out how to talk to, or how to get this money to Ari as fast as we can.
I mean,
So,
to Chrissy.
Chrissy, sorry, my head's spinning.
Or it
Chrissy,
might be-
to
it might be
Chrissy,
more than
as
It might be
fast
only
as we
two
can.
Chrissy. Who knows? I mean,
All right, everybody.
that would be
Chris,
the easiest way.
and now I'm calling you Chrissy. You got me all screwed up in the head. Jesus Christ. Ari, stay online for a second. I'm going to end this. Everybody have a great night. I need to go to sleep. Goodbye, everybody.